That's when you play your best. And tonight, Chicago State will need to play their best. California Baptist, first place in the WAC West Division, 6-match win streak, and a 3-0 sweep of Chicago State last time these two got together in Riverside, California. Now, for Chicago State, we know Yanlise Feliz is fantastic. She leads the WAC in kills, one of the top outside hitters in the country.
Yes.
Well, who else has to step up for these Cougars?
Tonight we want to see Nyla Jones step up. It's her senior year. She has 2 home games left, so we're expecting her to have a big night tonight.
And Nyla Jones, a local product out of Marion Catholic High School, former Illinois state champion. And here you see the starting lineups being introduced. The Cougars and the Lancers, both in gray, right? We've got different shades of gray for Chicago State and for California Baptist. And Nikita, looking at this Chicago State lineup, of course the highlight is Yanlise Feliz because she has 400 kills this year and is the only player in the WAC with 400 kills. So why don't you tell me what makes #1 so special?
It's her physicality and her aggressiveness, her want to put the ball away. She always wants to kill the ball, so that's her advantage.
Feliz is the 6-foot redshirt sophomore out of Pedernales, Dominican Republic. And for these California Baptist Lancers, they are without a player of the caliber of Yanlise Feliz. I mean, she is likely a leading candidate for WAC Player of the Year, but this is a really balanced California Baptist team. They don't have any top statistical leader or headline players, but their head coach, Brandon Higa, says, hey, we are a balanced team, we're competitive, we're controlled, and the Lancers have won 6 in a row, taking over first place in the WAC West. Under Coach Higa, they're led by their outside hitter, a graduate student, Tessa Oaks, and really good from the middle. And Nikita, you're someone who knows the middles well. We're looking at Laura Valevska and Chandler Gorman as a really good 1-2 punch up the middle for those Lancers.
Yeah, it's a great thing to be a balanced team because balance, works out at the end of the day. So long as everyone contributes and scores their points, then it'll be equal from both teams. From Yanlise scoring all of her points that she will score, their team is balanced, so it'll be the same amount across many more players.
California Baptist coming off a monster win, a 3-0 sweep against Grand Canyon, which I don't know if anyone really saw coming. Grand Canyon, also one of the top teams in the WAC. All time, these two teams have played 5 times. And California Baptist a winner all 5, including September 25th of this year. A 3-0 sweep back home in Riverside, California. And we welcome our friends who are watching from down in sunny SoCal. We're here in blustery cold of Chicago, at least according to the Lancers, who have come from sunny SoCal. Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, and our championship production crew. So happy to bring you WAC Volleyball here on ESPN+. And it's Mafer Lopez, third-year Cougar, starting to serve. Both teams in gray. The Cougars in the lighter shade. You got California Baptist in those dark gray tops. And here we go, Johnstone playing it, one of the best liberos in program history. Here's Feliz. You heard a lot from her, but a little too strong on her first swing.
Yeah, I think she tried to, I think it was her hand contact with that one. She hit the ball wrong.
Feliz, 400 kills this season. She's the only player in the WAC with 400 or more. She's got 44 than anyone else, and right back to #1. California Baptist all over it. On a slide, Almeida ties it up at 1. That was a beautiful slide for Berenice.
Yeah, the blockers are keying in on Yanlise, so as long as we get other hitters in the process, they most likely can get some kills.
You pointed in our open to Nyla Jones, senior weekend, and Jones, one of the 3 seniors who will be honored. So this is a big one for her. Right now to Berenice Almeida, knotted up at 1.
Turn back.
That's Christine Graff, and you pointed to her as a key for the Lancers. The right side hitter, Graff, junior out of Minneapolis. She's really strong.
Yeah, and they like bringing her around in the middle. She's a great hitter.
And Graf had a team-high 10 kills last time these two teams got together. We got an early stoppage. A little discussion here.
I think they put the green card. They think it was out. Oh, Chicago State think it was out.
So this is our first replay review here at Chicago State. We've spent the last few weeks getting all the replay cameras together, and this is new this season, having instant replay and coaches' challenges. So now we'll see if Coach Trifonov can win the first ever challenge at the Jones Convocation Center. We could see history here, Nikita. How do you think it might change, or has so far changed, the sport of college volleyball and having that sort of instant replay review?
I wish it was around when I was playing.
Of course.
I think that is a great thing to add to volleyball. Refs make mistakes just like everyone else. So if you have a camera and can view it again to get a second opinion, why not?
How many calls do you think you would have had taken back from
A
your
lot.
days at Ole
I
Miss?
remember like game point winners, and it was left up to the ref to make the call.
So here our first ever replay review in Chicago, and let's tell you a little more about these Lancers. This is a program that is still in its fourth season of the D2 to D1 transition. So Lancers are postseason ineligible per the NCAA protocol of going D2 to D1. It's a very successful program, though. First season as a D1 program, 2018. Coach Higa had his team 21-11, and this year top in the WAC West division. Like we said, they won't go to the tournament, but the Lancers very strong with an 8-3 WAC record. So the call is in California Baptist's favor.
Yeah, it looked in. I felt like the ref just didn't see it, but he called out.
So 2-1 the Lancers on top. And now the best serving team in the conference has their best server, Cassidy Dennison, 25 aces on the season. And here's the redshirt senior out of Huntington Beach. Played by Lopez. And the bump set, there's Feliz on a free ball. From the middle, that was Gorman. And now Feliz, a tapper, that's a light swing. And she sometimes, Nikita, is just as good at that as she is with the ferocious.
Yeah, because they're so used to her swinging that when she throws a tip in there, it most likely throws the defender off key.
Keeping him off balance, always important as Jack Inclon serves it too deep, and that's going to drive Coach Tony Trifonov
crazy
up the wall. Nikita, I'm curious about the message this week. Maybe Coach Trifonov felt his team was a little too uptight in the last match against Utah Valley. That was a 3-1 loss as the Cougars win a point.
Yeah, sometimes the team name can get to some certain players. So he wanted to relax them a little this game, take the pressure off of them so they won't be so uptight playing, and they'll play more relaxed.
Feliz serves it out, and 2 early service errors for Chicago State.
3, Jack, then California Baptist, then back.
So 3 of the 4 early points for the Lancers. Essentially freebies as Gorman delivers a key strike. And there was a free ball, played well. Von Noord and California Baptist. Again, that was a Nuke Von Noord up front. Native of Amsterdam. Coming all the way over.
Oh, that's cool. Amsterdam.
You been? I know you played in
Yeah,
Sweden.
I actually have been there. That's crazy. It's great.
Here's Dokuzlar. She's from Turkey, and the Cougars within 1.
That was a great swing. She had a good cut shot about it.
We had Von Noord from Amsterdam. That cut shot courtesy of Dokuzlar from Ankara, Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
You played in Sweden. I know it's a big transition going Europe to America. Different ball.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
There's Feliz. Calderon,
Good.
very high.
Such a high court.
Walewska, she's from Poland, and her Lancers up 2. Nikita Clare up here, impressed with the geographical diversity we've got.
Yeah, because Chicago State is like usually the one with the most
7 different countries on the Cougar roster. In the air, incline, there's Dokuzlar. Cougars down 2 early on a messy start, and Graff goes deep. Now within 1. Christine Graff was the star on September 25th in the 3-0 sweep over the Cougars. Team high 10 kills that day, and she's also tremendous on the block. 41 on the season.
Ooh.
That's the second most on her squad. So here's Ece Erol to serve. Another Turkish native and one of 3 on Coach Trifonov's roster. From the middle, nice block. That was Nyla Jones all over it.
Yes. So when they come in for that too, they have to get multiple blockers up, and Nyla Jones got up in time to close with the middle.
California Baptist, a team known for running a little bit of trickery, Nikita.
Yeah, they like to move their players around, allow them to hit from different positions.
And another deep serve there from Errol. Make it 4 service errors so far for Chicago State. And now back to the captain, Cassidy Dennison, a fiery player that Coach Higa loves to coach. And there's Jack Inclon on an effective setter's dump.
Yeah, she got up and she was just stronger than that middle. She pushed it over and kind of like swerved it off for a little bit. So she got that point, but that was lucky. It was a tight ball.
Last year, Cougars won 1 match. This year, already 14, already clinching postseason contention. Jack Inclon might be the biggest difference. Why? As Calderon goes sprawling. From last year to this year in the set.
Chicago State needed a setter. A setter really makes a team, you know, and not just for the sets, but kind of for the control of the game. They're usually the most focused and ball control.
That time, Inclon blocked by Fawn Nord. It's the quarterback of the volleyball team, right?
Yeah,
You're calling the shots.
I want to bring in football, but yeah.
You a football fan?
Yeah. So,
Bears fan?
I was going to say, yeah. She's like the quarterback. You can't do much without the quarterback. Even if someone else like their wide receiver come in and play quarterback, he's still not going to be the quarterback.
Nice touch, Christine Graff. A lot of open court there.
Yeah, that was a great tip. Andrea's back on her toes, waiting for a swing.
10-7 California Baptist. Team looking to win its 6th match in a row. And up front, Inclon, another dump. That's her second.
A lot of back and forth with the net with Jack and their middle.
Chicago State looking to play a little more relaxed, coming off of a tough 3-1 loss against Utah Valley. A team that's already clinched the WAC tournament. And a bump set. Fawn Nord. And here's Errol, lefty swing. And a whistle blows, point over to CBU.
Yeah, Ece Errol stepped over the line.
Can't do that.
Nope.
So an error on Errol. And now here we go to Hana Okuhara, one of the 2 setters for Cal Baptist, which plays a 6-2 system. Oh, what thunder from Yanlis Felice. That's the first real Felice strike we've seen today.
Yeah, that's about the first swing of the game, I think. Powerful one.
Why don't you tell us what it's like to watch her in practice when she's just going one after the other after the other?
I think I'm kind of coming to be used to her now, but
take her for granted. There's Gorman.
But lately in practice, she hasn't done much. We like to keep her only like passing and serve receive because we want her to save her arm and not jump so much since she gets so many attempts in the games.
That struck me in watching practice the other day, that Coach Trifonov was adamant, hey, let's let's ease up a little. We don't want to overuse you now because then she can do stuff like that right now in the game.
Because she swings a ton.
And now it's Feliz to serve, one of the best players in the NCAA. Only 2 players nationwide average more kills per set. Feliz with 5 kills per set on the season. There's Doway for the first time, right to Feliz. And now to Nyla Jones, local product, with a key strike, pulls her team to within 1.
Yes, great swing by Nyla. Good deep swing. Those are always score.
Nyla really good at hitting those corners.
Getting under the block.
Now Feliz. She comes up with an ace. And Jan Lees has tied it up. 24 aces on the season. That's the second most on this Chicago State squad. So she can do it from way back there, too.
Yes. All around great player.
A Dominican national star, and Doway can't find the spot. Here's Ezgi Dokuzlar, 6'5" out of Turkey.
Free ball. Come on, come on.
That's Severino in the middle, and the Lancers play it.
Back row.
Tessa Oaks. Good battle up front, and we have a rally. Nyla Jones, a little too much.
He's probably going to challenge it.
Oh, that one was ruled in.
Yeah.
My gut clearly told me out, and I think the California Baptist ninth-year head coach
thinks it out.
He thought the same. That's Brandon Higa. Nyla Jones with a deep swing. What was your gut?
Yeah, it seemed out. But since, the refs called it in, then I'm back on the inside.
So during this replay review, tell you a little bit about Coach Higa, a really interesting volleyball personality who came over from your neck of the woods, at least college-wise. He was an assistant at Mississippi State for a few seasons before coming out west to California Baptist. So a big rival of yours as the former Ole Miss Rebel Nikita Clare sitting here to my right.
Now that you say that, he
look
does
familiar?
look familiar, but I'm thinking it's just because of California Baptist. I've been to their campus once. But maybe that's the reason why he looks a little more familiar. I might talk to him after this.
I wonder if you're in his nightmares from your All-American playing days.
I want to ask him.
All right, we'll get that set post-match. But, yeah, Brandon Higa, his roots are out west. He played at Pepperdine, a beautiful campus outside of L.A., then an assistant coaching stint at Loyola Marymount, then down to Starkville, Mississippi at Mississippi State. And for the last 9 seasons, he's been the head man for the California Baptist Lancers, helping guide them from the Division II level over to D1. And now in their 4th D1 season, this is the last year of that transition. So next year, all of the setbacks come off. The Lancers can compete in the WAC tournament, NCAA tournament. This year, 8-3 in WAC play, first place, but they won't be in Las Cruces, New Mexico for the tournament later in the month. The Cougars will, because the Cougars are on the midst of their best season as a Division I program. That's 14 wins, 8 losses. Before this season, a Division I Cougar volleyball team had never won 14 games. Nikita, you're with the team every day. Do you think they're aware at how much they're making history in terms of CSU volleyball?
Well, they might not get the history, how much they're making history. But I think they definitely get the part about the winning. And I said this to Trifonov maybe about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. They walk around with a little more chest out, a little
pep in the step,
a little more confidence. And that's what I love to see more, because they have worked hard to get here, and they deserve to stick their chest out a little more.
Right now, watching the replay review, it's taken a while. We got Nikita Clare, former All-American here. Sam Brief, so happy to be with you on ESPN Plus at the Jones Convocation Center. And looks like we have our review, the near official chatting with Coach Higa. And let's see the call. So it stands. Nikita Clare with a strike in on that back line.
Yeah, I guess we're at a bad angle, Sam.
I said out right away.
Right.
I guess that shows what my eyes can do.
Yeah.
So the Cougars take the lead. First time this evening. 13-12, and Yanlis Feliz to serve. Someone who's been with Coach Trifonov and his wife, Mariela Trifonov, an assistant coach. 3 seasons now. Yanlis Feliz, sort of a groupie of the Trifonov family, coming over with them from Seward County Community College, where she was maybe the best player in program history. Reached the national title game in 2019. She won Conference Player of the Week 7 times, nearly 2 full months of Player of the Week awards. And then when Coach Trifonov said, hey, I'm taking the job at Chicago State. You want to come? Yanlis was like, yeah.
I'm pack my stuff.
I'll go. And now here she is, year 2 as a Chicago State Cougar. And Feliz with 402 kills on the season. There's Shireen Dawe, a free ball. Going to Jones. She's blocked. And that's Von Noord and Gorman.
Yeah, I guess Nyla thought it was a hole in the block, but then they closed it instantly.
So Gorman after the block to the stripe, tied at 13. That was thunderous from Messalina Severino. Point Cougars.
Great swing. Need to see our middles get in the game more. Some more sets.
It's Berenice Almeida and Messalina Severino, who you just saw. It's the libero from Peru here. Von Noord, cross court, 2 wide. Cougars by 2. And now we'll take a timeout. 15-13, Chicago State now having won 3 in a row. As we step aside here at the Jones Convocation Center, it's the Cougars and the Lancers. Hey, what's up? Welcome back here at the Jones Convocation Center. We got Thursday night WAC volleyball. Cougars, Lancers, up here in the booth, Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, and our wonderful crew. And a good start for Chicago State on a 3-0 run right now. In jeopardy, out of system. Here's a free ball. The CBU response with Dawe.
Oh, great.
How about Nyla Jones keeping it in, but the Cougars were on their heels the entire point. So, Nikita, halfway through the first set, impressions so far? It looks like California Baptist a little off balance right now.
Yeah, they look uncomfortable, but their coach stated that they need to work on playing games not at home. So,
California Baptist, they haven't lost much recently. 6 wins in a row for this Lancer squad, so maybe not too comfortable playing from behind, but right now, all knotted up at 15. Almeida from the middle. You wanted to see more from those middles.
Yeah.
Almeida again, and right into the block, Laura Walewska, the freshman from Poland.
That's a great block. She reached in.
went up and got it.
Yeah.
Coach Higa says, you know what, we rely on that athleticism so much. Just a freshman, a lot of room to grow, but she's been one of the top performers as Dokuzlar evens us at 16. It's always interesting with some of these international talents. What's the path from Poland to Riverside, California? And Laura Walewska, she had actually committed to another program.
Really?
And this was a couple years back. Coach Higa was here in Chicago with his wife. They were actually on vacation. And he was at his hotel room, and he had been recruiting Walewska. And he gets a call. Hey, Coach, something fell through with my other university. I'm available. Well, he jumped on it. He secured her recruitment, or secured her commitment. And here she is at California Baptist. So he said he'll always associate her with the city of Chicago. Here they are together now. And that was power from Shireen Doway, number 2 on the outside.
Yeah, that was a great rally. A lot of swinging, a lot of defense going on.
Swinging in defense. Volleyball. There's Cassidy Dennison serving. A swing from Jones. Good defense for the Lancers.
Roll.
That was Oaks on the roll. And Almeda, she found a nice spot. All time.
Yeah, she had 2 blockers. Tip. Always good.
And here comes Mafer Lopez to serve. Nikita, a player that you have watched now 3 years. Give me the biggest area of growth you've seen from Mafer.
Just making the switch. She came in as a middle, and now she's a hitter, an opposite hitter.
Woo! Walewska.
Talk
Talk about hitting.
Yeah, no block.
So Lopez, the transition, that's not an easy one from inside, outside.
Yeah. Even though it's a middle's all-time dream, it kind of took her some adjustments, and I'd say that was her biggest growth.
An ace for the top serving team in the conference. And Paige Johnstone with a timeout. California Baptist by 2. Nikita, you said it's a middle's dream to move from the middle blocker position to the outside. Tell me why that is.
Because the middle ball is always like fast, shorter, quicker sets. The outside has the big, highest ball. It's probably slow sometimes. They get all the crappy balls too, but they're always high at least. Give them a chance to just go up and rip it all the time, Middles will love that. We always have to be tricky or just hope for the best.
So it's like you're sleeping on a sofa bed where you feel those metal springs and you wake up and your back hurts, and then all of a sudden you're upgraded to the presidential suite in a plush Swedish foam king mattress.
I think the middles are the most hard worker on the court. So.
Spoken like a true middle blocker. Nikita Clare, former All-American middle blocker, of course, at Ole Miss. And I'm sure if you were an outside hitter, you would give me a little different perspective. Oh, the outside hitters are the hardest working. I just give them
credit for hitting and passing. I mean, they do both.
Right. But no one is better than your typical middle blocker.
But no one works as hard as the middle.
Here's the libero, Paige Johnstone, out of the timeout. Outside hitter, that was Felice. Another swing for Felice. Cross court played well by Tessa Oaks. Now to CBU's outside. Almeda, a nice slide. Another rally developing and a nice high ball. Beautiful finesse. Yanlis Felice pulls the Cougars within 1.
Great tip. I mean, once you swing, tip.
She got one of those high balls. Yeah. I was thinking, all right, this is your Swedish foam king mattress. Here's Berenice Almeda. Middle blocker out of Buenos Aires. She serves. Cougs within 1, and Almeda ties it on an ace. She's really improved as a server.
Oh, yeah. She's actually been a pretty good server this year. I feel like, is she the one with the most aces?
That's Felice.
Oh, Felice has the most aces?
Don't doubt you're outside.
Right, I'm always with the middle. But I felt she's been serving pretty good this year.
Yeah, Almeida's right behind her as the Lancers win a big one thanks to Tessa Oaks. Chicago State looking for its first win ever against this CBU program. Cougars have never even won 2 sets against the Lancers. And they were swept 3-0 at the Lancers' place in late September. Kind of funky play here. Everyone's out of system. But then Oaks cleans it up, 21-19. What is Coach Trifonov motioning from that bottom of the screen in the black hoodie? He's doing all sorts of hand motions.
You know, it's daily.
His daily hand motioning. Severino came flying. Felice, whoo-wee. Here's Dennison from the back row for California Baptist. And now Felice for Chicago State. Von Noord. And California Baptist 3 away from a set 1 win. And Tony Trifonov calls timeout. So, Nikita, our last media stoppage, you said, hey, I think California Baptist look a little off balance, not really looking like themselves. Have they changed those vibes?
Yeah, but I feel in the way they've picked up is in their blocking now, or in their defense, and then everything else will continue to follow. But they definitely have picked up their defense.
The California Baptist defense, one of the best in the WAC, but this is a team that doesn't lead the WAC in any one category, and Coach Higa was straightforward about that. He said, hey, I know we're not exceptional at any one thing. It's not like we're the best defensive team or the best hitting team in the conference, but our strength is balance. This is a team that gets production from 6 different players offensively, and they struggled early in the season in part because they weren't healthy, some COVID issues, and now that they're healthy, full strength, you've seen what the Lancers can do with 6 consecutive wins. Now out of the timeout, we'll see if they can finish off the Cougars in set 1. Hope you at home are having a wonderful Thursday. All of us here in Chicago wishing you well. As Hana Okuhara, the pride of Pleasanton, California. Lefty serves into the net, and life for the Cougars.
Yeah, I guess that was Tony's miss serve when you get to call a good timeout.
Should he get the stat?
Yeah.
Sort of icing the server in a way. And now Chicago State serve, Jack Inclon. Set to Oaks, and a winner. It's the Lancers by 3. Dawe comes in. Shireen Dawe, 2 in the dark gray. She's a native of Boudariou, France. She has double-digit kills in 2 of 3. Oaks straight into the net. Mistakes on both sides.
Yeah.
This is
That's our second miss serve.
This is like a serving haunted house.
In the 20s.
Now the pressure's on Yanlis Felice for the Cougars. And here she goes. Nyla Jones with the block, stepping up.
Yeah, that's a lucky block. It landed in the court deep.
Why was it lucky?
Because that's like, blocks are usually like in the 10-foot line.
Usually got to work
down,
for it.
But yeah, but that one landed in and everything.
Right in her lap. What thunder from the middle. That was Chandler Gorman, bringing the Lancers to within 1 of a set win.
I'm not sure where Chicago State middle was, but she left the middle for California Baptist wide open.
It's a layup.
Yeah. Easy.
So set point here. Back to Felice. The Lancers have all the answers, and Walewska finishes off set 1. It's the Lancers by 3. And California Baptist, winners of 6 in a row, have won set 1 here at the Jones Convocation Center. Now we step aside, back in a moment for the second set. And good to have you back at the Jones Convocation Center. Sam Brief and the former All-American Nikita Clare here with you, with the Cougars, with the Lancers. It's 1-0 California Baptist. Nikita, what would you say is the biggest reason why?
I think towards the end they picked up the play more. Their defense was a lot better.
This Lancer team was a little bit off kilter early on. Would you say that? But then they seem to get back into focus.
Yeah, at first they seemed very uncomfortable, but now they feel like they've got their comfortability on the floor now, so I think they're rolling now.
And for Chicago State, remember, this is a team looking to beat California Baptist for the first time. Cougars in 5 outings have never done it. The Lancers are coming in having won 6 in a row, leading the WAC West Division. So a big challenge for a Cougar program that already has made history with the most wins in the Division I era for this program. Coach Tony Trifonov, a longtime veteran of college volleyball, of course, has the respect of so many. And Brandon Higa, the 9th-year lead man for California Baptist, he recognizes what Coach Trifonov has done. He said, hey, I saw they hired him. No surprise that Chicago State is really good this year. And the Cougars no doubt are, with that 14-8 record, 6 WAC wins, and they will be in the WAC tournament in Las Cruces, New Mexico at the end of November. You've been down there, right? You traveled with the team to Las Cruces?
No, to be honest, that's like the one time I never travel, and it's when they're going to New Mexico. So I have not, but I will be happy to go this year and see.
And of course, if the Cougars make a run, win the WAC tournament, would head to the NCAA tournament for the first time. And here we are, now starting set 2, just waiting and waiting. Coach Trifonov having a conversation with the near official, who now will transcribe the conversation to Coach Brandon Higa, as Cassidy Dennison waits for the thumbs up.
The Lancers will serve first.
And here goes Dennison. She's a redshirt senior. She's from Huntington Beach. And here's Almeida in the middle, right into the block. Tessa Oakes was all over it, the graduate from Riverside, California.
Yeah, Berenice has to use her angles more. She's swinging straight forward. They're going to block her.
There's Berenice on a slide, and 2-0 California Baptist. So you say she needs to use her angles more. How does a middle keep that in mind and execute on the use of the angles?
A middle first instinct is to use her angle. So I think Berenice right now is in her head. It wasn't a great start for the Cougars.
Timeout, Tony Trifonov, as the Cougars seem to be playing against the tide so far to start the second set. California Baptist with a rockin' start. And what are you looking for now from the Cougar middles? Because you're an expert on middles, and I know you want to see a little more from Messalina Severino and Berenice Almeida.
Yeah, I want them to step up. They're kind of in their heads right now. Messalina with her blocks. She's good at blocking, and she's missing blocks. And Berenice, she's good at swinging, and she's getting blocked two times in a row. I think they're in their heads right now.
We've seen a lot defensively on the California Baptist side in blocking those two from Tessa Oaks, the graduate student out of Riverside. She's a player who 3 years ago was first team all-conference. Then the last 2 seasons marred by injury, of course by COVID, and hadn't really gotten into much of a rhythm. But she's finally healthy. She's the rock of this CBU program. And she's been a star tonight as the Lancers lead 1-0 and 3-0 here in the second set. And it's Cassidy Dennison to serve. Fiery player from SoCal. Let's see what Feliz answers with. Side out. And the Cougars are on the board in the second set. So now it's Berenice Almeida serving. Almeida, nice low server. Last season led the conference in hitting percentage at .424. And this is the part of her game she's improved the most. In the middle, Gorman into the block. Lancers by 3. Here's Paige Johnstone. Comes from a California Baptist family. Father Kevin, former baseball player with the Lancers. And how about that? Yanlis Feliz strikes it.
Great swing, cut right under the blocker's arms.
It's that cross-court angle that is scrumptious for Feliz. So here's Jackie Inclon now, the pride of Tucson, Arizona, and a transfer to Chicago State. To the back line. Sprawling nearly onto the concrete. That was almost dangerous for Paige Johnstone.
There's a drop. I don't know if they can see it on camera, but there's a drop back there.
You mean the level change, right? From the green to the gray. Good thing Paige is all right. And now back to Inclon looking to tie it. Perfect to the back line. That was Tessa Oaks. And a lot from Oaks tonight. Much like the aforementioned Johnstone, Oaks is also from a California Baptist family. For her, it was her brother, Trevor, former CBU baseball player who actually made it to the big leagues. Made 2 starts as a pitcher for the Royals in 2018.
Oh, that's nice.
Big time Lancer family. And now here's Feliz. After the win, she serves. This is Oaks again. Played well by Severino. And now Feliz from the back, and a beautiful back row thunder from Yanlis Feliz.
Yeah, that ball had a lot of heat.
She knows how to bring it, and with a smile. Second-year Cougar out of the Dominican Republic, a former star on the under-23 squad. Felice, miscommunication with Incline. Swing goes out. That was Von Nord. And the Cougars up 1, maybe lucky to win that point, Nikita, after the miscommunication between Incline and Felice.
I think they got a lot of tension, but worked out.
In the air, Okuhara. And into the block. That was Von Nord. So the Cougars on a run now. 4 points in a row for Chicago State.
Picking up their defense now.
As always, game of runs. Oaks. Felice touches it. Lancers are all over, staying in system as Von Nord strikes it over Severino. What could Messalina have done differently there on defense?
I think it's their timing. The outside hitter on California Baptist kind of slowed her arm down, and the Messalina was already in the air, so it was just bad timing.
Jones out of position. Now Jones rebounds, and California Baptist alive by a thread. Here's Jones again, her third touch. Doway over her head. Okuhara over her head. And Dokuzlar, good to see her. She's back, and the Cougars up 2.
Yeah, happy to see her smiling.
Why is that?
Because, you know, when you see smiles on the court, that means they got some confidence.
Were you a smiley player back at Ole Miss? Or were you a serious player?
Definitely. I was both.
You're a very smiley person
right,
now.
so I can't, like, not be smiley. But
I have a hard time imagining you being, like, straight-laced, totally.
But if you were losing, I wasn't smiling.
Well, nothing turns a smile upside down more than a loss.
So then I'll put my more serious face on.
I can't even imagine it. You're smiling right now. Felice. And Doway into the block. Cougars by 1. And a nice rally here. Free ball. What do you do with it? Going to Dokuzlar. Awkward in front of the net. Yeah. How is California Baptist staying alive? There's Almeida, and the Cougars by 2.
That was a great rally.
All these little touches for California Baptist. They're good in front of the net, those Lancers.
Yes.
Here's Eche Errol, the lefty. You like playing lefties?
No.
No.
Everything's the opposite. But they're usually just on the right side.
I like the straight answer, Nikita.
I one time played a lefty middle. Now that's really different.
That's very rare.
Yeah.
Who was the lefty middle for?
When I was in high school. No, it was high school. That's the last time
How'd you do?
See that. I saw them in the regionals, and she was actually pretty good, though, as a lefty middle. So, you know.
Point Chicago State here, and with the former All-American Nikita Clare. You didn't start playing volleyball till 8th grade, and then you ended up going pro.
Yeah.
Quick learner.
Yeah, I guess. Like I always wanted to play a sport. So once I got the one I wanted to play, then I just kind of, you know.
It's about finding the right sport.
Yeah.
Ooh, Felice. We know she has the right sport. 3-point Cougar cushion.
Yeah.
Mafer Lopez on the serve. Pride of Lima, Peru. And in the middle, beautiful hit, Christine Graff. And the Cougar coaching staff had Graff circled from the start. Someone that her head coach, Brandon Hika, calls a warrior. Aggressive player out of Edina, Minnesota. Felice, ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Can't touch this.
High balls are her balls. She can just go up and get them. And then the block, they're not sure about high balls because, they're so high.
And Chicago State seems to have mastered the art of setting up Felice. Here's Almeida. Walewska from the middle, and there's the Polish middle blocker, Laura Walewska, the former U20 champion with the Polish squad. She checks out. And now to Johnstone, the libero serving. Inclán Felice, that's the combo. And now Inclán Felice. Oaks over the block. CSU stays alive thanks to Eche Errol, number 5 on the back row. And Yanlis Felice with the finesse. She's had a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, she's been working on switching it up. She knows she can kill the ball, so let's switch it up a little, see what else she can do.
She ought to sell T-shirts. Felice Finesse.
Great slogan.
Should I trademark it?
Definitely.
She'll have to pay me royalties. Here comes Graf. A little too deep. It's a 4-point Cougar lead against the top team in the WAC West Division. California Baptist on a roll. But the Cougars up after losing the first set. It was a 1-0 win. Or it's a 1-0 lead for California Baptist. Graf wins it, 14-11. Cougars lost the first 3 of this set. Okuhara, there's a lefty. And Dokuzlar, deep swing is blocked. Surprise!
Surprise! Tricky!
So it's the Cougars by 4 midway through the second set. And it's Felice to the line. We've seen a little more of the Felice finesse. And now Yanli serving. High to the outside. Tessa Oaks with a nice swing. Could this be a challenge opportunity?
I thought, but I'm guessing Nyla really did touch it from the looks of him, of Tony going up to ask her.
She's got to be honest.
Yeah, because there's no point to challenge it.
Calderon very high to Jones, and there's 3 in a row for CBU. Lancers coming off a 3-0 sweep win over Grand Canyon. Took down New Mexico State a day earlier. Cougars off a loss at Utah Valley. Second loss to the Wolverines this season, and their 4th in the last 2 years. And there's Gorman in the middle, 16-14. Seems like Utah Valley from out in Orem, Nikita, has been one of the thorns in the Cougars' side, no?
Yeah.
Why is that? What is it about those Wolverines?
I don't know. Maybe their name.
Their name.
But they're really good defenders, too. I mean, you know how some teams are just caught up. Like Utah, they're used the conference is used to them being number 1, or New Mexico State, you know? So I feel like their name
It's a name brand.
Yeah.
Chicago State, just not like, a name brand in volleyball.
Right, and how they're making their name brand, so.
Right, if you're not a name brand, make your name a brand. Cougars are doing that this year with a program record 14 wins. Calderon can't save it, and the Lancers are within 2. Looking at the history of Chicago State volleyball, it's really incredible in less than 2 seasons what Coach Tony Trifonov and his staff have done in turning the program around. Last time the Cougars even won a dozen games was 2004. Not even done with this season, already with 14 wins. And Shireen Dowey, ooh, Lancers are within 1. So the best season for the Cougars in the Division I era, 2004, that was a 12-19 season. And this year the Cougars are 14-8. So that tells you what it's been like and what it's like now. Almeida, ooh, Berenice Almeida. The Buenos Aires product keeps the Cougars ahead.
Yeah, we're finally getting some swings out of Almeida.
It's the 5th slide we've seen tonight from Berenice. Very active on those.
Yeah, that's her ball, but sometimes it's a little inconsistent.
Dowey, touch. Lancers hanging around. Very much hanging around, within 1. They took the first set, pretty commanding down the stretch. And it's 1-0 California Baptist as we're here in Chicago at the Jones Convocation Center. And hope you're having a wonderful Thursday night wherever you are. Felice, that cross-court hit has been played well tonight for the most part. And Felice again. Now it's Graff the right side. 3rd time, touch. Scrabbling. Zalewska's been so efficient tonight.
Yeah, she does a good job going right to the right back, and the right back's just standing there like, Lord help me.
And the right back that time, Echa Errol. Is she targeting her? Is that what it looks like?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I kind of seen her hit a little cross, and I've seen her hit down the line like that. So she's probably seeing Berenice taking her cross away, so she's just switching angles.
That was a serve into the net, so the Cougars back out in front. And the aforementioned Laura Valevska, number 12 in the dark gray for California Baptist. She's their most efficient player, 300 hitting percentage. Only player hitting 300. Nice dig, Johnstone. Lefty touch for Valevska. And Felice puts the Cougars over 20. And timeout for Coach Higa. We're going to keep it here. Chicago State going at it for the 6th time all-time against California Baptist. Sam Brief, the All-American Nikita Clare, and our wonderful production crew with you from Chicago, where we have a little homestand cooking right now. Cougars will be back at it from Chicago for a 1 o'clock first serve on Saturday afternoon, bringing the Red Hawks from Seattle U into town. And last time the Cougars played Seattle U, Nikita, was a clean sweep, 3-0, pretty good.
Yeah, and they're looking to do the same thing, and it's the Cougars senior night, so that will be a very special game for some of those players.
We'll have 3 Cougars honored, and among them Nyla Jones, who you gave a little nod to in pregame today as a really important player, not named Yanlis Felice. And Nikita, what have you seen from Nyla Jones tonight?
I've seen her swing, put some swings on the ball a lot more. I want to see a lot more swings, though.
So go to Nyla a little more.
Yeah, let's get her going.
Nyla Jones not on the court right now, so that'll wait. But it's Berenice Almeida on the serve. And the Cougars up by 2, down 1-0 overall. So let's see if now's the moment for the Cougars to take their first set win of the season against California Baptist. Not if Christine Graff has anything to say about that. Powerful. And within 1 are her Lancers. to Johnstone.
It's a good dig.
Felice wins it. It's the Cougs by 2. Do you think Chicago State has gone too much, not enough, or just the right amount to Yanlis Felice?
I think about just about right. I think she's gotten plenty swings, but sometimes I don't like to overuse her. You know, just
and that's got to be
use her
frustrating.
when you need her. Yeah, and then we can't miss. Cougars can't miss serves this close to the game.
Leading 21-19, now 21-20, thanks to a deep serve from Inclon. So Hana Okuhara. See if the Cougars can side out, leading by 1. Felice was blocked, and for touches, we're tied at 21. Here we go. Time to strap in.
Ooh. Yeah, first one to 4 points.
So what's the key now, Coach Claire?
Out of this timeout, they need to side out and then get the serve and kind of keep them under. It's going to be point for point right now.
It's got to be frustrating, the service errors we've seen so far from Chicago State, with a few early on and then a couple down the stretch here, as the Cougars have allowed California Baptist to stay right here in set 2. And after the set 1 win, it's the Lancers looking to take a 2-0 lead overall. We've seen a lot tonight from Christine Graff, the junior out of Minneapolis. Tessa Oaks, graduate outside hitter from Riverside, California. She's been everywhere. Number 6 in the dark gray. And now Brandon Higa's team and Tony Trifonov's team do battle down the stretch in set 2. I hope you're enjoying your Thursday, kicking it back with some WAC volleyball on ESPN+. Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, and our wonderful championship production team with you from the Jones Convocation Center at Chicago State University. Saturday is senior day. Then we got basketball starting Tuesday night. Men's basketball kicks off the Gerald Gillian era, playing host to St. Thomas. Tommy's coming in from D2 to D1 in their first ever D1 game. It'll be right here in Chicago Tuesday night, and you can catch that right here on ESPN+. So 21-21 in set 2, and it's Hana Okuhara, southpaw serve. And that one is way off to the left. It's the Cougs by a point. Sub brings on Jones, who I know you wanted to see more of. And now Yanlis Felice. It's time to dig deep if you're Chicago State. Into the middle. There's Oaks. The 6'5" Dokuzlar. And now the Cougars by 2.
Yeah, the Cougars have to step on the gas if they want to take this set. They can't give California Baptist a chance, or they will take it.
There's a free ball. It's Dokuzlar punching it. And a bump set to Oaks. Felice was way out of position. That was nice, Chandler Gorman in the middle, but what was happening with Felice? Stumbling a little in the middle?
I think she was just a little confused. Sometimes they overset her, and she's unsure about the set sometimes, especially when she's in the back row.
That's where Felice is now. Bottom of your screen in light gray, and there's a timely service error if you're Chicago State.
Yeah.
Sets up set point.
California Baptist. No.
That's a big no-no from the fifth-year senior, Tessa Oaks. So set point here, Fawn Nord keeps the Lancers in it. This is when the Cougars need to close.
Yes, finish the game. Got to play defense. Got to have relentless behavior.
So now the serve's in Gorman's hands. That was not the ideal first touch. Seemed to hit the outside of Nyla Jones's wrist, and we're tied at 24. Remember, win by 2. So not a set point here, but a big one.
Yeah, Nyla has to step up and pass the ball. She doesn't play the back row, but she at least has to play.
And again off of Nyla Jones' wrist. And now it's set point for the Lancers as Coach Trifonov brings Maferda Lopez in. And she replaces Nyla Jones. That's frustrating for the Chicago product. Now set point for Chandler Gorman as the Lancers have won 3 straight. Felice keeps the Cougars in it.
As always.
So a really frustrating couple points for the Cougars. And really no one else but Yanlis Felice to keep him alive. (25-25). California Baptist leading 1-0. Gorman finds a soft spot in front of a sprawling Eche Errol. And now again the Lancers with set point. So we got a Fawn Nord who will serve. She targets Errol. Felice, not this time. Shireen Dowey to the back line. The Lancers storm back, take set 2, and just like that, in a comeback, it's 2-0 California Baptist over Chicago State. The Lancers looking for their 7th straight win. The Cougars looking for win number 15. Well, what's going to give? We'll be back on the other side right here on ESPN+.
Oh, he challenged it.
Replay review of that final point. A challenge, and the Cougars won the challenge. So here we are.
I didn't.
All knotted up at 26, and I'm breaking the news to my partner Nikita Jones up here in the booth. But still 1-0 overall. Cal Baptist leading, and 26-26 down the stretch in the second set. This is our first ever match at Chicago State with the use of this challenge system, and it comes in play big time.
Yeah, to think that the game is over, then you're sitting on your bench, and then you look up, and they're like, nope, it was out. It's kind of a a team bummer.
Shows why you need the challenge. Went from a set 2 Lancer win to anyone's game, 26 all. And after more discussion, we'll have Maferda Lopez serving for Chicago State. So the challenge successful for Tony Trifonov. That's his first successful challenge.
Yeah.
At
And,
home.
I hope it pays off.
Just saw some history here at the Jones Convocation Center. And Mafer Lopez on a big one. From the middle, blocked. CBU responds with Dawe. And now right back to Dawe. Here's Felice. That's her spot to the back line. And the Cougars are up one.
That was a great play.
And timeout, Brandon Higa. So the Lancers take a stoppage. The Cougars lead by one. And Nikita Clare, what a turn we've seen. Called this as a set 2 win for the Lancers, and now it's CBU with the backs against the wall.
I mean, we got to be thankful for that replay system.
Replay with the assist. Lancers won the first set 25-22.
Yeah.
And now we'll see if Chicago State can come back and win this set. It was no surprise to see them go to Yanlis Felice on that last point.
They're probably going to go to her again. This next point.
Feels like a safe bet, given what we've seen this season for the Cougars. And if you don't know, now you know. Yanlis Felice, one of the best players in all of Division I. She has 5 kills per set, and that's third best in the entire NCAA. Her 400 kills, most in the WAC by 44. Yanlis Felice is just playing on a different level. And Nikita Clare is someone who's watched her just about every day for the last 2 years. What's it like to be right there in practice when she's just killing the ball?
I'm just grateful for her to be on my side, you know. And
it's not an opponent's scout.
Right. And just can't wait to see her grow. I can't wait to see what she looks like her senior year.
Hard to believe, just a redshirt sophomore already so polished. And now set point. If the Cougars win this one, we're knotted up 1-1. Dawe touches. She found a soft spot. And this one's a classic set too. 27-all.
Oh, yeah, that was very smooth. I didn't even realize she tipped that ball so deep.
So now after the touch, it's Shireen Dawe serving. Inclon setter's dump is picture perfect, and the Cougs back up 1.
Yeah, that was pretty good for a setter.
Pretty good for a setter. Jack Inclon, spectacular athlete. The grad transfer paying dividends. And now Berenice Almeida. Miscommunication, and the Cougars take the second set.
Look how that worked, Sam. Like, just like that.
So the replay review helps, but the Cougars also close strong. And we are tied at 1 here at the Jones Convocation Center. Hey, it's a good one. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more from the Lancers and the Cougars on the other side. It is great to have you back here in Chicago, Sam Brief. Nikita Clare, I'll try not to draw on you, Nikita. We got a good one here. California Baptist and Chicago State all knotted up at one set, and a 29-27 winner for the Cougars. What did you see down the stretch in that second set?
A fight. I feel like the teams are fighting more with each other, not with each other, but you know, more fight and defending each other and putting up blocks. There's a lot more overall. Great volleyball.
Yeah, really good defense, and the messiness maybe has gone away a little bit, Nikita, right? We saw a lot of service mistakes early from both sides, but that's settled down a little bit. A pretty well-played set 2. And now let's see what's in store in set 3. Cougars and the Lancers. Remember, Chicago State looking for its first ever win against California Baptist. Some of the WAC's best talent on the court here in Chicago. Yanlis Feliz, there she is. And into the block, a Lancer win. Yanlis, one of the top outside hitters in the country. Got Berenice Almeida, one of the conference's best middles for Chicago State. And on the flip side, some key talent like Tessa Oaks, Chandler Gorman, leading the charge for this Lancer bunch. Out of Riverside, California, 4th year as a Division I program, and we're knotted up here in the third set.
Yeah.
It's Mafer Lopez. And Lopez wins it for the Cougars. So a dominant start to this third set. Looks like Chicago State has taken a little bit of a stranglehold of the momentum. What a good battle in front of the net, but Walewska, the Polish product who just checked out, she won that point for California Baptist. Here's the serve for Paige Johnstone. And Feliz whistle and into the net, California Baptist. 3-2. In the air from Johnstone. And the dump, Inclon. Jack Inclon's been everywhere on that setter's dump, but no, that point actually went to California Baptist.
He caught her in the net.
Huh. And we're under replay review. It's the 4th time tonight we've had the review. Again, our first match ever with the new fancy replay review system. We've got cameras, 6 of them, all over the Jones Convocation Center that can give us the Zapruder film and see if Jack Inclon made contact with the net. But regardless of if she did or didn't, Nikita, she's been everywhere on those setters' dumps, a little more aggressive than usual.
Yeah, she gets the chance now to be a front row setter, so we want to see her be a hitter as well when she only has 2 hitters up with her in the front row.
Jack Inclon, a spectacular story, enjoying her 3rd collegiate chapter here in Chicago. Started out at Arizona, then New Mexico, and then after all that Southwest flavor, finally to the Windy City. And that point ends up sticking with CBU. And 3-3. Here's Feliz. Chicago State's marvelous outside hitter goes out of bounds, and the Lancers by 1.
I thought she got some touch on that ball, but I guess not.
It looked like a little change of direction. And here's Feliz again. What a swing, and that ball is high, high, high in the air into the second deck.
That's how hard you know she hits the ball, for you to literally home run it.
It goes from Feliz's fist to the ground to like row 20. Somehow, some way. To the outside graph, and she sends a lunging Lopez for it. Lancers with a pretty good answer early in the third set. And now here comes Hana Okuhara. It's to Feliz.
Block.
She had an opening there, and now she blocks. So Feliz up front wins it, and the Cougars all knotted up 5-5. It's senior weekend. Chicago State Volleyball playing host to California Baptist, and the three seniors will be honored on Saturday. Kayla Malik, Nyla Jones, and Eche Oztuna for Chicago State. There's Van Noord, the native of Amsterdam, a former star at Otero JUCO in Colorado. From Amsterdam to Colorado to UMBC out in Baltimore, where she was all-conference in the America East, and then to Riverside, California. Quite a journey for Van Noord as her Lancers win another, now up 7-5. And now back to Tessa Oaks. It's Dokuzlar on the left side, and that one was going nowhere.
I just don't understand how number 9 can get blocked sometimes. She's so much taller.
That's Ezgi Dokuzlar for Chicago State, 6'5" out of Turkey. Good effort to keep that alive. And here's Doway. Lancers have won 4 straight. So a little juice for California Baptist, and now a timeout from a disgruntled Tony Trifonov with the Lancers all over Chicago State to start the third set. They're cooking up a good one between the Cougars and the Lancers here at the Jones Convocation Center. 2-1. Or check that, 1-1 is our score, but yeah. California Baptist looking to make it 2-1 with a nice start to the third set. Let's see what the Cougar answer out of a timeout is. They've lost 4 straight points and make it 5. Look at the Lancer celebration on the right side of your screen. They are sprawling, diving everywhere as they're up 10-5. So now to Tessa Oaks. The serve is in good hands and a nice low dart. Feliz.
Bunch of pinball play.
She's the pinball wizard. Cougars lost the first set 25-22. Came back and won the second, 29-27. There's Dowey, cross-court killer, and a nice swing for the French, Shireen Dowey, out of Boudariou in the south of France. Beautiful town.
Oh, I want to go there.
Yeah,
Never been to
south of France, little escargot. Service error. And as our own Mark Hawkins says on the public address, a freebie for the Cougars. Here's Calderon in the air. Nice touch in the middle. Sometimes you just got to get a paw in the right spot, and Laura Zalewska that time. So a couple subs here. And among them, Leah Pease, junior setter out of Pleasanton, or actually Petaluma, California. A lot of native Californians up and down this roster. There's really no stopping that from Yanlis Feliz.
Yeah, she just goes up and just swings, and we see the aftermath when we see it.
Lancers by 4. And a 1-1 tie in the third set. There's the touch. Dowey, a swing this time. The Feliz finesse. Got a good rally here. Dowey and Feliz, the stars. Lopez a touch. Back to Dowey for CBU. And she has the Lancers up 5. Brandon Higa, the 9th-year head coach, saying in all his time, he's never had a team like this. 6 players who can consistently contribute. Good vibes all around for the Lancers, who have won 6 in a row and now lead by 6 in the third set. Also, looking to make it 6-0 all time against the Cougars. 2 teams first faced off in 2018. Lancers haven't lost in Chicago since. Errol, Inclon, and Lopez to the back line.
Yeah.
The Cougars with a nice answer.
Lopez coming in front row now for Nyla. Doing a great job.
What does Mafer Lopez bring to that front row that we haven't seen from Nyla Jones tonight?
Just as long as she can, like, put the ball in the court. Like, you know, it's the errors that Nyla makes that kind of hurts her. Just swing. And if, you know, everything can't be a kill, as long as it's in the court and keep the play going, you know, it's doable too.
You say just swing. Is the implication maybe a little too much thinking?
And just like swinging, like putting pressure on their defense. It doesn't have to be a kill every time. It can just be a ball that makes them out of system.
Cougars within 3 now, and there's something to be said for that, right? A really good touch, putting pressure on a team, even forcing a team off system, out of system, goes a long way.
Yeah, those little things.
How about that punch? Leah Pease.
I'm not sure where Eche Earl is. It's a tip all day, and no one's there.
Paige Johnstone serving. Another setter's dump incline. Now setting, and Feliz cleans it up. Within 3, here come the Cougars. Messalina Severino back in. First time in a while we've seen her.
Yeah.
Severino, 2nd-year Cougar out of San Pedro in the Dominican. So now Almeda serving. Feliz, what an off-balance touch. Arrow sprawls, keeps it up. Felice into the block. Chandler Gorman and Christine Graff, both there. Gorman, a native of Houston, team high 74 blocks coming in. Transferred in from University of Pittsburgh, where she was a 2018 ACC champ. And now she watches Messalina Severino punch one in. 16-13, all tied at 1. This third set, almost every time you got a 1-to-1 match.
Yeah.
Third set winner ends up winning the whole thing.
Oh, look at that superstitious you got over there, Sam.
I'm not superstitious. I'm only wearing my lucky socks, lucky shoes, lucky tie, lucky suit. Me, superstitious?
I mean, you know, just saying.
16-14. Were you superstitious when you were a player?
Not like crazy superstitious. Sometimes I felt superstitious about this headband one time. But
Tell me about it.
I just felt like this year I always had to wear that headband. And then if I didn't wear it, it was like a terrible game.
So were you always better with the headband than without?
Yes.
What color was it?
It was actually one of those Nike headbands that kind of like the new style that they can tie out in the back. And it was just black and white.
Black and white.
Mm-hmm.
You still have it?
No, because that's why I say that, like, only sometimes. Because that was my junior year that I was superstitious like that.
I was going to say, if you still have it, I'll wear it. Severino ties it up. Hey, here come the Cougars. There's some lucky juju happening down there as Brandon Higa calls timeout, and the Cougars have won 3 straight. Why have the Cougars won 3 straight?
Well, from the looks of it, it seems like their middles are swinging. And I felt like that's kind of taking California Baptist off guard.
And tremendous energy from Berenice Almeida and Messalina Severino. You're an expert on middles. Tell me what the biggest difference is between Berenice Almeida and Messalina Severino. Really 2 of the best middles in the conference.
Berenice is more of a hitter. She is more of a middle hitter. She can swing about every position. And she can play with the setter, so she's always most likely front row with the setter's front row. Messalina is more with the 3 hitters because she only runs more balls in the front of the setter, and she's a better blocker. So,
would you say Messalina Severino more of a defensive-minded player, and Berenice Almeida a little more offensive flavor?
Perfectly described.
What about Nikita Clare back at Ole Miss?
To be honest, I was an offense player.
Offense.
Yeah.
That's more fun.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships, but offense is fun.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Jack Inclon all tied up at 16. Cougars have won 3 straight. There's Oaks with power. Nice sprawl, Calderon. And nice touch, Lopez. That's 4.
That was a lucky shot by Moffer.
What made it lucky?
Like the way it came off her hand and like the angle she chose.
Rough angle, good result. And Jack Inclon serving. And Jack Inclon, an ace. The Cougars have won 5 straight.
Ace.
Inclon, the native of Tucson, playing against a Southwest team in Cal Baptist. The Cougars looking to take a 2-1 set lead. High set for Oaks, and there's Inclon. There's Felice.
Yeah.
How do you defend that?
Right. Great swing. Cougars are on a roll.
So 6 in a row for Chicago State. Feels like a snowball going downhill turns into an avalanche. It was 16-13 CBU. Look at the score now. There's Van Ord. There's Felice. That's who you want. Felice into the net. It went out, though. That's 7 straight.
Yeah, that's a great run they're on.
And a disgruntled Brandon Higa calls timeout. Cougars have won 7 consecutive points and now could be closing in on a monumental set 3 win. What have you seen from them these last 7 points, Nikita?
Just they're willing to fight, not give up, keep playing the plays out. Defense. Andrea with the great dig, and her teammates have her back.
Andrea Calderon, she's really been excellent tonight. The one Navy shirt for Chicago State is the second-year libero from Lima. She has turned into one of the most consistent liberos in the conference, and the former Peruvian national team star.
Yeah.
We have a lot of that at Chicago State. These international players have this international experience playing for their national teams, and Andrea Calderon, no stranger to that. She placed second with Team Peru at the South American Championship back in 2019, now turning into a stud player in the WAC. There's Calderon in the Navy shirt, doling out high fives. Cougars have won 7 consecutive under the steady guidance of their setter, Jackie Incline. And here she is serving. Incline goes for it. Up front, Dokuzlar. It went out, and the point to CBU. So that puts a kibosh on the run, and 20-17. Could we have a challenge here? Coach Trifonov holding up that green card. Anything specific you saw?
I'm just a little confused because she didn't see if the ball was out yet before she kicked it. So I'm confused.
So what's the biggest point of confusion here? We do have a replay review.
She touched it to see. She touched it before we could see if the ball was in or out.
Well, that's why we got all those cameras.
Yeah, that one was confusing, Sam.
And we don't actually have access.
What happened?
We can't get. I wish we could get a live look at what the officials were looking at. Unfortunately for us and for you at home, we're sorry we can't. We can only sort of recreate it, speculate it. Do you think this challenge likely to be upheld because it was so hard to see?
No, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it might be reversed because I'm confused.
Confused is the word of the day. We're
why
all
he
a little,
would call that call, and
yeah.
it's right in his face.
Right. Well, let's see. And Tony Trifonov making the challenge. He was all the way on the other side, but his players seem to be imploring him to challenge as the Cougars, for the moment, are on top 20-17. And now let's take a look at the Chicago State upcoming schedule. Then we'll be right back here in the Jones Convocation Center less than 48 hours from now for Senior Day. 1 o'clock start Saturday as the Seattle U Redhawks come to town. End of September, Chicago State went up to Seattle, took care of business in a big way. 3-0 sweep win over the Redhawks, and that'll also be faculty and staff appreciation night here in Chicago. Then the Cougars hit the road for a really tough 2, finishing off the season, the regular season at least, with Grand Canyon in Phoenix and New Mexico State in Las Cruces. And I'm told the Cougars are actually just stay in Las Cruces because then the following week you get the WAC tournament, which the Cougars have already clinched their spot in, going to Las Cruces starting on Friday, November 19th. It'll be Chicago State at the WAC tournament for the second time ever. And Nikita Clare, Chicago State, third-year member of the volleyball program, up here in the booth. Were you at the WAC tournament last year with the team?
I was.
What was it like when they won over UTRGV, the program's first ever WAC tournament win? First Call stands. So the call does stand. But now, you tell me.
It was a great feeling. That was a great moment for Chicago State volleyball. Those same girls are still on the team, and I believe it brought their confidence to this season.
It was the only win of last season, but really ending 2021 spring on a high note, and now in the fall it's carried over. 14-8, off to the best start in the program's history.
Yeah.
So here we go. After California Baptist ended the run, Yanlis Feliz gets a winner on the back line, and it's the Cougs by 4. Back to Feliz. They're in the third set, 1-1 overall. Last set went 29-27 for the Cougars. And this one, the Cougars have dominated since it was 16-13 CBU.
It's great block by the Cougars.
Messalina Severino right there.
Super early.
To Severino. Fonord looking for the soft spot. Can't find it. And now Lopez looks for the cross-court winner. Not there.
Great defense.
High bump set incline goes to Calderon. Cougars out of system. Lancers in system, but deep from Gorman. And the Cougars can smell it. Chicago State has won 10 of the last 11 points.
Yeah, I think the Cougars are trying to get this set under their belt. Yeah.
And an ace for Feliz. She dances her way to the huddle. The Dominican shimmy.
It's exciting.
So now let's see if Feliz can finish it off. High in the air. And this is a free ball. There's Lopez swinging and winning. The Cougars take set 3.
Great finish for the Cougars. The set kind of started off rocky, but great finish.
It was 16-13, and then the Cougars went on an absolute tear, winning 12 of the final 13 points and winning set 3. We'll be back with the 4th set right here on ESPN+. Hey, back here in Chicago, Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, Cougars and the Lancers. And Nikita, we're in the fourth set now. Cougars leading 2-1. So take me through the difference. It was 16-13, CBU leading. And then the Cougars won 12 of the last 13 points. What happened?
I just felt like the Cougars were attacking way more, like they were being way more aggressive than California Baptist. I feel like California Baptists are waiting on the Cougars to make mistakes, and they're not.
They were in the first set,
Right.
not so much in 2 and 3.
Right. They have to play.
So Chicago State now 1 set away from their first ever win against California Baptist. Give me the number one key to keep in mind for the fourth set.
Just their side. They've been with their skills on this side, and it's won them some games. So keep focusing on the Cougars game.
Like, don't worry about the other guys.
Yeah, they're
right?
not doing much. They're not. No one's really. They have to stop. You know, just don't let them get hot and keep going.
It's a good life lesson, Nikita. Control what you can. Don't worry about all the outside forces. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing, Cougars. It was a 25-17 domination in that fourth set, or in the third set. Now we're in the fourth. Let's see who opens up with a lead. Errol, a touch. And the dump incline, it was played, so Doway's got a chance. Side out, and the point Lancers.
Let's see how this fourth set's going to be a good ball game.
If you're just joining us, first set was 25-22 for the Lancers. Cougars came back to win the second set in a classic 29-27, and then dominating the third set 25-17. And here in the fourth, there's more Yanlis Feliz. She is the headline.
Yeah, she's just a great player. There's no off days. There's no off games. So that's always great.
No off days when you're a stud like Yanlis Feliz, one of the best players in the country, and she comes up with a big defensive play. It's 2-1. Feliz etching her name in the Cougar record books. She's one of just 3 players in Chicago State volleyball history with 400 kills in a season. And we got a lot of clock left on the season.
Yes.
Gorman, Doway, and Shireen ties us up. And hope you at home are having a great Thursday. I know we have a lot of friends watching from down in Riverside, home of the Lancers, on the campus of California Baptist. All of us here in Chicago, Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, and the crew saying happy Thursday to all of you. Nice block. We've seen a lot more from Mezzalina Severino.
Yeah, I feel like if you can contribute one way, try to find another way. And
So what was she struggling to contribute with?
Swinging and blocking, though. She gets way more blocks than this, and I feel like she's picking it up now.
Severino, team high 77 this year, ranks 7th in the conference. Good swing, Gorman. Good swing, Fawn Nord, but both are played. Feliz, she's blocked. And now she's on the ground.
Stuffed block.
I know you can appreciate that.
Yeah, I can appreciate a good block. That's like literally so hard to pick up.
It was Chandler Gorman in on the block. Gorman's a player who's really mentally turned it around for California Baptist. Doway Thunder. Feliz over Gorman that time, and now Doway, more Thunder. It's CBU by a point.
CSU being confused with everyone's on the left side of the court. There was literally no blocker in front of her.
Pease and ace. That's Leah Pease. Former stud at Marin Catholic High School out in SoCal. Goes right back, feeds Lopez. Felice on the right. Felice, a winner.
She contacts it high, so that's why it goes so high off the block like that.
Why is it important to contact it right there?
Because that's where the fingertips are, and because if any lower, then you're right in the block. So if you have 4 hands in front of you, the best bet is to swing high.
Chicago State does such a good job of serving or setting the ball high for Felice. And now it's Felice serving with the Cougars and the Lancers knotted at 5. Here's Yanlis out of Pedernales, Dominican Republic. She takes so much pride in her Dominican heritage. She says it's everything for her. Her family back in the Dominican, a big step for her and so many of these players to leave home, go to a different country with a different language that you don't know that well.
Who doesn't want to come try the American?
Felice has thrived here. But still uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Coming over, a big courageous decision to
course.
leave home.
Yeah, it's a different culture here.
You had to make a similar adjustment when you played in Sweden.
So that's right, yeah, exactly. I know exactly what it feels like to be in someone else's culture, but, I mean, they're pretty stoked to come to America, you know? Some of them have never been here till now.
And to not know the language, too. Have to learn it, take classes, and play volleyball. It's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot for a young 18-year-old. But Felice figured it out. Her first collegiate season at Seward County Community College out in Kansas. Now here she is at Chicago State, her second D1 season. And into the net there from Gorman. So we're tied at 7. 6th all-time matchup between Chicago State and California Baptist. CBU looking to make it a 7-match win streak, while Chicago State headed to the WAC tournament later in the month, battling for seeding right now in the middle of that crowded WAC West division. Almeida slides and just misses to the left. Mentioned the Cougars battling for seeding. California Baptist not, because they're not even going to the WAC tournament. Still in the midst of their D2 to D1 transition, so postseason ineligible this year for the final time.
I think they might be able to go to the NIT.
Right, just not NCAA.
Right.
There's a beautiful stuff. It's Mafer Lopez.
Yeah, the middle took one off her forehead. I hope she's okay.
Gorman. And the Lancers by 1. The type of tear that California Baptist has been on has taken the WAC by storm. Since they lost the first set against New Mexico State last Thursday, Lancers haven't lost a set. They ended up taking down New Mexico State, longtime kings of the WAC.
Yeah.
And then the next day against Grand Canyon, a 3-0 sweep win. So this is a hot California Baptist team, one of the hottest teams in the country. And Felice has the Cougars within 1. And overall, Cougars up 2-1 on California Baptist. I'm curious, Nikita, so far from a 360 point of view, how would you grade this Cougar performance?
They're doing great. I'm on a grade. I'll give them a B+. don't want to jinx them or anything, but they're swinging, they're defending, but you know, just certain plays they still have to
So you say a B plus right now. I think if I asked you halfway through the first set, you would have said D plus.
Yeah, probably.
But they've turned it around.
Yeah.
Down 11-9 in the fourth set. Here's Incline. Feli's touch is a Cougar point. Feli's has been everywhere. And now Jack Incline. The serve for the former New Mexico Lobo. Calderon, very high, just how Yanlis Feliz likes it. High for Dawe now for CBU.
Tip.
Good rally here.
Tip.
And snuck into that back corner, Anouk Von Nord. She found the soft spot.
Yeah. That spot's pretty open. Every time she's hit there, she's scored.
A lot of high sets for Feliz. And it seems California Baptist has done a nice job digging some of those key bombs from Yanlis. As Incline sets high on the right side this time. And again, the blocks right there. Gorman and Dawe.
That's a good block.
So 13-10. A little Lancer run. Bump set, there's Graf. And speed from the middle, Messalina Severino has Chicago State within a pair.
She used her left hand with that one.
We've seen a lot of Severino in the third and fourth sets. Dawe has been a marvel.
That was a great swing. I think that was probably her best swing tonight.
And she did it with chutzpah, right? She followed through. Little swag in her step as she subs out for Cassidy Dennison. From the middle, it's a block. And Chandler Gorman. She's got the Lancers rolling. California Baptist looking to win their 6th in a row. And now we come to a stoppage. 15-11 in the fourth set. The Lancers and the Cougars in Chicago. Hey, good to have you back here in Chicago. It's been the Lancers in set 4 taking command 15-11 as we bring you back with the Cougars leading 2-1 overall. Chicago State looking to finish the deal here. California Baptist looking to force set 5. Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, and all of us here in Chicago saying happy Thursday. Good volleyball here, and California Baptist now dominating the fourth set, leading 16-11. Story of the match so far has been Yanlis Feliz. Either she's crushing it and the Cougars are winning, or she's been stopped and the Lancers. And in this set, she's been mostly stopped, and the Lancers lead by 6 now.
Yeah, the Cougars have to make a sub, yeah, because
There's the sub.
they're
Nyla Jones for
Yeah.
Rafael Lopez, as was prescribed. And Dokuzlar right into the block. Does it look like the Cougars just have no energy right now?
Yeah, like I don't see that same fight from the third set, and I think that comes with knowing that you're up 2 sets, but we can't relax when you're against a team that's used to winning.
And Felice stymies the run. Yeah, California Baptist, no doubt, used to winning. Their last loss was a month ago on October 9th against Utah Valley. And that was also the Cougars' last loss. A Utah Valley loss over the weekend. Good sprawl, Calderon. And now to Nyla Jones. Pretty awkward from right next to the pin. Lancers by 7 after losing by 8 in set 4, or in set 3. They're dominating set 4 and might force a 5th.
Yeah.
Well on their way. Dokuzlar and Cougars staying alive in this one. We saw them close on a tear in the third set. Trailing 16-13, they came back to win 25-17 with a sensational finish. And now on the serve, Eche Errol. Little mojo here.
Miscommunication on California Baptist side.
So let's see if under the guidance of Errol, the Cougars can get it done. Eche is a freshman out of Malatya, Turkey. And here come the Cougars. Errol's 8th ace of the season. And now a little momentum. Three straight points for Chicago State. Now down 19-15. Remember, if the Cougars win this set, they'll win the match. Be their first ever victory against the Lancers. That's a strike.
Yeah, that was a
Christine
good shot.
Graff.
Hard to get the balls in the corners.
And now a sensational server, Hana Okuhara. 24 aces this season, 9th best in the WAC. Right to Errol. Awkward hit by Jones and a free ball. Felice. Right back to her. Yanlis has the Cougs within 4. So now this is the window, right?
Yeah. It's gotta do some pulling here.
Some pulling. Pulling of the voodoo magnetic forces out there. Let's see. Tessa Oaks stymies it, as she often does. 5th-year player has been the rock. And here she is with her team up 6. 5.
Math.
Shireen Dowey, her last 2 swings have been dead eyes.
Yeah, she's getting in the seams and finding the holes in the block and just putting the ball away. She's a good outside, though. She's finally getting some points on the board, which she should have been doing.
Now Tessa Oaks straight into the net. And a freebie. So here's the window. Severino's right in, with Almeida coming back to serve. It's really now or never if you want to avoid a 5th set. Shireen Dowey This is Felice's show. She's been played well all night and continues to fight through.
Yeah, she's just trying to carry her team.
Everyone in the gym knows who you're going to.
Yes.
California Baptist committing 2 blockers to her, but she fights right through it.
Yes.
Can the Cougars close this 4th set like they did the 3rd? Leading 2-1 overall. Here's Dowey.
Come on.
Who else? It's Felice again. The margin 3.
Yeah.
And timeout, Brandon Higa. So how about the resilience of Yanlis Felice? It's got to be so frustrating when you're trying to do what you do best and they keep blocking you, but she continues to fight through, and she's putting on a show right now, Yanlis Felice.
Yeah. She's a great player. That's all I can say because, yeah, usually a player would shut down after being blocked so many times, but no, she finds the other holes because she knows that they're keen on her.
It's a physical battle, of course, but it's also a mental battle because it's so stacked against you because everyone knows you're the option. We know. California Baptist knows. But Yanlis Felice also knows. And she is so talented that sometimes that's all that matters is the strength, the finesse of her right arm.
Yeah.
So Felice with 400 kills and counting. Leading the WAC, 3rd in the country. And her star, her mystique, the legend of Yanlis Felice. It'll continue to rise if she can carry the Cougars to a win in set 4, which would mean a win in the match, which would mean a program record, 15 on the season. Cougs have won 2 straight. Now looking for a 3rd consecutive point. Here's the server, Berenice Almeida. Nearly got an ace. That ate up Errol, and Laura Valevska makes it a 4-point cushion.
Yeah, I knew they were going to set that middle. She hasn't been swinging much, so that really will get them out of that serve receive.
She's been so efficient, team leader in hitting percentage. Showing off. You know who the Cougars are going to. And the Cougars are back within 3. Jack Inclon will serve now. Inclon, one of the most consistent servers, does a really nice job of keeping the ball low, right where you want it, between the top of the pin and the top of the net.
Yep.
Grad transfer, right there. Good low serve. But an even better stuff, Chandler Gorman all over it. And it's set point now for the Lancers. They give it to one of their best servers, Leah Pease. Junior hails from Petaluma, California. Felice goes flying, and that ball was tipped, so Chicago State right back to it, 24-21.
Yeah. Whew. They did a good job of catching up a little bit, but, you know.
And there's no margin for error now.
Yeah.
It's set point. And an ace! What a serve for Felice!
That was crazy.
Yanlis just snuck it over. And here we go, 24-22. Higher this time. Dowey's been so efficient, but Felice saves it. Now Lopez. CBU's out of system. Inclon sets for Lopez, and Maffer, the cross-court strike just wide. And folks, strap in, we're going to set 5. It's been a classic. 2 really polished teams, and the Cougars and the Lancers are even through 4. So the fifth set from Chicago is on the other side. And we're back in Chicago for the fifth set. It's the fourth time this season that Chicago State is going the distance as we bring you back. Knotted up at 2 apiece. Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, and our championship production team. So happy to be speaking with you from the Jones Convocation Center in Chicago. And Nikita, we saw some lulls of energy from the Cougars in the fourth set. How do you strap in and punch hard in the fifth?
You have to come out in the beginning. The set, it's only to 15, so it's not a lot of room for errors in the fifth set.
We saw Chicago State make a few errors last time they played a five-setter. That was against Grand Canyon on the 9th of October. But today, we've seen a little cleaner sort of play from the second on after a messy first set. How have you seen the Cougars clean it up?
I would say with their block and their defense, if the play gets messy, they try to get it together and then slow it down a little bit.
Yanlis Feliz has been the story. Tell me the headline for Feliz.
Phenomenal player, can play under pressure.
And tonight, she's getting some pressure against a California Baptist team that's won 6 matches in a row. Yanlis Feliz and the Cougars already with one of the best seasons in program history, looking for a signature win. Let's see if they can get it. It's the fifth set. Cougars, last time they played a five-setter, it was October 9th against Grand Canyon, and a win for Chicago State. So let's see. The Cougars and the Lancers. So great to have you with us in Chicago for the penultimate match here at the JCC. We'll be back on Saturday for Seattle and Senior Day. But first, plenty of unfinished business against California Baptist. And Mafer Lopez will start with the serve. Shireen Dowey slaps it, and CBU strikes first. What's the biggest mental battle in a five-setter when you're so fatigued, Nikita?
I think both teams are uncomfortable because it's just a 15, and they know the winner of this set is the winner. It's do or not, do or die.
Do or not, much friendlier way to put it.
Yeah.
And 2-0 California Baptist. I like that. There's no death. We don't need to be gory. Do or not.
Yeah, do or not.
I'll make T-shirts for that, too. Do or not. 2-0. Good start for CBU. And here's Dowey. Slaps into the block. Right back to Shireen. And she just sneaks it in. Number 2 in the dark gray, Shireen Dowey. She has double-digit kills in 3 of her last 4. And has been a stud tonight. 3-0. Remember, the fifth set played to 15. To Feliz. That right arm's got to be tired by now. And nice double block, Inclon and Almeida.
Yeah, number 2, I think it's just like kind of her timing's a little off.
Dawe?
Yeah, on that ball, why she got really blocked.
It's Almeida now. The Cougars number 2. And she's right on point. Fight in front of the net, and the battle to the Cougars on a little tie-up. So 3-2 CBU. 5th set action. Last time the Lancers went 5 was October 23rd, a Saturday morning. 3-2 win over Abilene Christian. In their 3-set matches, Lancers are 3-0. So very strong. Do you think that's an identity thing? Like some teams are just really good at 5-set matches, conditioning, mental fortitude?
Oh, yeah. Teams really, like, train hard sometimes to make them physicality be able to stand 5 sets a lot. And then some teams don't. So definitely.
Did your teams back at Ole Miss?
Oh, yeah. Weights were my biggest fear because of all the things we've done. We had to do, I wasn't a runner, and then running 300s killed me.
But did it pay off?
But, yeah, it definitely, I felt the best shape I've ever been in.
Felice, and we're tied. So at the time, you're maybe a freshman, and you're running 300-meter sprints and lifting weights at 6 in the morning. You're thinking, what am I doing? And then
with my life,
in SEC play, you think maybe that was worth it?
Yeah, when you're in it, you don't seem to be as grateful. But afterwards, you're like,
oh, that's why.
That's the best personal trainer you'll ever get.
5-4, California Baptist. So now it's a battle of conditioning. Which team, mentally, physically, can rise? It's been a long match, a few challenges, a lot of close plays at the net, very physical, and a lot of Severino in this 5th set. We're tied at 5.
Yeah, that's good. 5-5, so teams are playing.
And here's Felice to the back. CBU to Oaks, and more often than not, Tessa Oaks finishes those. The all-time kills leader out of Woodcrest Christian High School, now in her 5th year with the Lancers, and crushing it in her super senior season. Now Chandler Gorman subs out.
Yeah, I probably want a DS to serve in a time like this so she can
Jennifer
play
Blessing.
defense.
So first time tonight we've seen Jennifer Blessing, 5'8", libero from Frisco, Texas. Dokuzlar with 2 hands. There's Blessing. And Felice back row swing is stuffed by Valevska. Lopez over the block. Blessing. Oaks and Tessa finds the opening. Lancers back out by 2. So here's Jennifer Blessing. Why was that sub so important, or in your mind expected for CBU?
Because just like when the rally gets to going, you don't want a middle back there who barely plays defense. You rather a DS who can pick up balls.
Cougars come right back with it. No one was picking that one up. A good strike from Severino. 7-6. And if you're just joining us, we've had a classic here at the JCC. California Baptist winning the 1st and the 4th sets. Cougars taking the 2nd and the 3rd. Now it's a decisive 5th, and Felice to the back. Right back to her, Yanlis. Third time's the charm. Finesse this time, and right there, Dennison. Graf from the right. She was too strong. All tied at 7. Yanlis Feliz might have a sore right arm tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Now you see why she don't do much in practice when it comes to swinging.
She wants to.
Yeah, but that's just the the athlete in her.
Killer instinct.
Yeah.
Here's Dokuzlar, all 6'5" of her. And now Graf. Christine puts the Lancers up 1. And midway through the 5th set, shocker, shocker, we are all tied. And we're going to stay here during a 60-second timeout. 8-7, CBU leading. Sam Brief, Nikita Clare, we've been with you all night. Hope you're doing well. Nikita, we're really down the stretch now.
Yeah.
Give me the most important thing that Coach Trifonov has to tell his Cougars right now in the huddle.
Defense. I know he's on them about just passing balls. Like, in a time like this, the game's crunch. They're all like crazy,
Amped up.
Yeah, like, juvenated. He just wants them to play defense, though. Like, the block might not be there. They'll probably throw some trick plays out there. Just defense. Defense wins games.
And championships.
Yes.
This is a Cougar team actually contending this year for the first time, really, for a WAC championship. Already, the Cougars have clinched a berth in their 2nd consecutive WAC tournament, and a little run could give the Cougars some more history for a program that has already set a new Division I mark for wins in a season with 14 and maybe, just maybe, going on 15. And a win tonight would be, if they can get it, the first win ever for the Cougars against California Baptist. 0-5 all-time entering tonight. Let's see if this is the lucky Thursday. 2-2, set 5. First to 15 will take it. And it's Hana Okuhara on the serve.
Good pass. Yeah.
Almeida punched it in, and we're tied at 8. What'd you see on the pass?
Great pass.
And here comes Arrow to serve. The lefty has already one ace tonight. This would be a nice spot for another. Oaks just wide to the right. And for the first time in this 5th set, the Cougars lead. Now the job, don't give it up.
Yeah. Oh, timeout. That's anybody's ball game.
Anybody's ball game indeed. And down the stretch, I think little in the arena would question who the primary target for the Cougars is going to be. And it's someone we've talked at length about tonight, Yanlis Feliz. Nikita, you're always around the program, so I'm going to tap into your expertise here. Tell me something about Yanlis Feliz, not as a volleyball player, but as a person, off the court. Something about her that our audience doesn't know.
Yanlis, I think she's a very fashionista type of person.
Ooh.
She loves, like, cute shoes and cute bags. And she actually loves Chicago. She loves being in a city and being able to see so much diversity and experience different things.
The fashionista, now a cultured Yanlis Feliz. If she wants diversity, culture, hey, she's in the right spot.
Yeah.
Here in the great city of Chicago, where we are coming to you live from the Jones Convocation Center. And down the stretch, Cougars are 6 points away from what could be their 15th win.
Off. Free ball. Cougars have to use it.
Going to Fellies. The back row swing is fruitful, and the Cougars are up 10-8.
Yeah, it's a great swing. I just love it.
Hard not to.
Yeah.
Here's Etcha Errol, third time in a row. Nice block. How about Jack Inclon, the setter, rising high?
Yes. The Cougars are on a roll.
And another timeout as the Cougars have won 4 consecutive points here. After a pretty dead start, it was 3-0 early in the 5th set. How have the Cougars managed to turn this one around?
I would say not being nervous or playing like, you know, jittery or cautious. They're just playing. They look so relaxed out there. They don't even look like they're like, you know, under pressure much.
And that goes back to what you said right before the match started. And Coach Trifonov took them in the locker room and he said, hey guys, chill out a little bit. Try hard, give it your all, but let's chill out. I think volleyball and any sport and life is the most fun when you're just sitting back, relaxing, doing your thing.